We all know that the hustle culture can push us to the edge. But what if I told you that the way you talk to yourself is a major piece of your burnout puzzle? In this video, I'm unpacking the connection between your inner dialogues and the way you experience burnout. And I'm here to share some insights on how to turn these negative thoughts into a force of change. Burnout is more than just a busy schedule. It's often a sign that our inner world is out of sync with our outer achievements. And if you've been feeling cynical or intolerant lately, it might be time to take a closer look at your inner dialogue. When negative, fear-based thoughts build up, they can cloud our minds and alter the way how we perceive others around us. Decluttering isn't just about our physical space. It also considers our mental and emotional and also our relational clutters that keeps us stuck in our burnout cycles. When we over-identify with certain roles or unconsciously project parts of ourselves onto others, we create emotional weight that drains us. I always come back to my favorite psychologist Kitty Almash's quote, which says, "If you don't like something in them, fix it in yourself." And it's a powerful reminder that change starts within inside. But here is the catch. While this thought is inspiring, without digging deep into self-awareness and doing the work what we need in order to change, nothing will shift. I learned this when I realized that my resentment towards the people close to me, playing victims or martyrs, are usually the ones who have similar traits that I resented within myself. And I didn't realize that I unconsciously chose people, friends, partners around me who had similar traits, which triggered me, but I avoided to change. And when I projected my frustration onto them, in the same time I could avoid to face my own challenges. And it wasn't easy to spot because mine showed up differently. Instead of the martyr role, I was playing small and seek validation through complaining instead of taking action, even if I could change. My inner critic fed this insecurity and making me second guessing my capability. And the irony, I was exhausted from constantly overcompensating, trying to prove my worth, yet stuck in the cycle that mirrored what I resisted. For me, playing small and overcompensating meant chasing knowledge, another book, another course, another concept, anything that would prove that I am not ready yet. And it became a never-ending loop of procrastination and not taking action when I could make real change. And then the part of me wanted to save others, help them, and fix them. But in the same time, I excuse patterns what I should have set boundaries around. My story is not uncommon, and there are many different versions of these mental clutters that can distort the reality what we perceive. And I prepared 5 of them, and if yours is not among them, please just let me know in the comment. The first is the overgiver who resents not getting the same in return. So your resentment might say, I always show up for others, but no one does the same for me. And although this experience is valid, if we don't pay attention, we might train our brain just to only see the patterns what would confirm our perception without acknowledging the facts what would prove otherwise. And behind this excessive giving is usually a desire to feel worthy and needed, and to avoid feeling unimportant. And to declutter this, try to recognize that not everyone expresses the care in the same way like you do. And saying no might feel difficult at first, but it helps you to say yes to what really aligns with who you are. The next trait is the perfectionist who judges others for cutting corners. This mental clutter sounds like this. People don't take things seriously enough, so I have to be the one who do it right. But the truth is, perfectionism isn't about high standards. It's more about the fear of failure and judgment. And I know that reframing mistakes as neutral data and not something personal mistakes feels like an impossible mission. But take it from a recovered perfectionist. Sometimes what we expect from others are the really thing what we struggle to give for ourselves. Maybe it's grace, maybe it's flexibility. And accepting that done is better than perfect can really help you keep the balance because most of the things I really don't require 100% effort. Give yourself permission to finish something at 80% and you will see that most of the time it will be already more than what others expecting from you. The third trait is the helper who feels invisible when they need support. Who thinks, I'm always there for others, but no one asks how I am doing. But the truth is, being a helper is usually a defense mechanism to avoid being vulnerable. Because if you always put others first, you can avoid feeling the guilt of prioritizing your own needs. And to declutter this, even if it's uncomfortable, we have to learn to ask help directly instead of waiting for others to notice. And in case if you struggle to articulate your needs, I found two very useful frameworks which you can use. One of them is the CIT framework and the other one called GPS. I created a cheat sheet to practice, you will see it in the description. Sometimes decluttering simply means setting boundaries because not everyone who seeks help will reciprocate your generosity. Give yourself permission to disappoint people because their discomfort is not your failure. And set boundaries before resentment builds up, not after. The fourth trait is the achiever who feels like they are never doing enough. And the usual thought is people don't work hard enough, but I am the only one really pushing. But overworking is often a distraction of feeling of unworthiness, and the judgment of others usually masks our fear of failure. What if you would redefine the success beyond productivity? What actually matters to you, the output or the impact? And you will notice where sometimes pushing harder just makes things worse. And if you recognize this, you can adjust your approach. And the fifth trait is the fixer who can't watch others struggle. Usually says people make bad choices, but I need to help them to see the right way. But very often the need for fixing others stems from the fear of our own emotions. Letting go of the belief that you know what's best for others help you understand that people learn from struggles, not by avoiding it. After following these traits, you can see that change is always starts with radical self-honesty. Whenever we get stuck in negative thinking or behaviors that keeps us small, unseen, and saving rather than serving, we are keeping ourselves in the shadow of our fears and insecurity. The goal isn't about to judge your past choices, but rather recognizing them, so you can break free from that cycle that no longer serves you. And the way you experience your life tomorrow will depend on the quality of your thinking today. Clearing your mental clutters begins with setting the intention and a commitment to yourself to simply get started.